What is your American dream?
My American dream would be to continue working hard for what is my next career, my next dream. My next step would be to be on camera and work for a big sport television broadcasting company. That would be a dream of mine.
For me, the American dream is the freedom to define that goal for yourself and for your family, and the freedom to obtain that goal.
My American dream is to be a role model for both my kids and the world, to make culture a really big part of their life and my life, to be deeply rooted and involved in community has always been a big one for my family.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. It's September 28th, 2021, and that only means one thing. I am 53 years old in one day. Welcome, Jonathan, Yo-Yo, Elias, and Vanessa Nesquik Contreras. How are you guys?
Amazing. How you doing?
Good. Yesterday was a holiday. We took off for my birthday. Everything
it's a national holiday.
It was a Brada day, I guess. A Brada holiday.
A
whatever
Brada
it is.
holiday.
Yeah. So what's happening down there in Miami, Vanessa?
All good things. All good things. Good weather, good times. How was your birthday?
Are you
Actually, I was about to say, when she said good weather, I was about to say it's definitely not humid out there because your curls are popping.
Yeah.
You know, your hair, got your hair done, it ain't frizzy and nothing. So
Yeah, I think Vanessa's getting ready for the northeastern people to start heading south for the winter, right?
Right.
Everyone starts escaping the cold and going south.
It's starting.
It's going to start soon. Yo-Yo, how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. It was, bar mitzvah and chilled.
All right, bar mitzvah and chill.
Yeah.
In that order.
In that order.
Yes. All right, let's say.
Wait.
What?
How was your birthday?
How was my birthday?
Yeah.
Run right through that. You
Right.
can't just run
Everybody's
right
saying happy birthday to you in the comments.
Thank you very much, everybody saying happy birthday. My birthday was also chill.
It was.
It was a chill birthday. I was at the office, actually.
I saw you.
Yes, I worked.
I did actually work, though.
I worked most of the day on my birthday, and then I just met with my family, and we had a nice family dinner.
Aww.
And that was it. It was a low key, but we had a good time nevertheless.
That's great.
Yeah, no big party or anything. And I went out with
streamers and bottles.
Right, bottles. No, I don't do that anymore. All right, let's say hello. Anymore. Used to. Anymore is the prime word there.
Oh yeah.
Word there anymore.
Anymore. Let's say hello to Dip Fab, Cake Affairs, Squad Up, Chetty Mandori. How are you? Carol Anderson, the Tiger, Asila Enots, Squad Up. How are you? Jessica Leamy, Renee Stewart, Demba Sow, Squad Up, Samantha Jones, and Day Jose, Squad Up. Andre Edwards, Squad Up as well. Winifred Giaffrey, Squad Up. Robert Jackson, Laverne Facey. I think I said Demba Sow already. Dion Reed, Squad Up. Asila Enots, not asking for a friend. I'm asking for myself. What is she asking? I lost the first part of what she was asking.
I didn't see that either.
I didn't see that either. Sorry about that. I don't know what you're asking. And Carol Anderson, the Tiger Brad, another year is added to you. Hope you had a wonderful time on. Thank you very much. I did. And Van Nabby, Squad Up. Teke Jabber Jallo. It's still September, so happy birthday, Brad.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Maybe it's, some people are birth month, some people are birth week, some people are birthday. Maybe we'll do birth week for me this time around,
I think that's
right?
okay.
Rob J. Roberts, always with a positive message. That uncle will soon be grandpa.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Rob J. Roberts.
Ron J. Roberts, always with the positive, uplifting comments. Joy Titus, happy birthday, thank you very much. And who else we got here? Badukes, squad up. And let's see what's happening on YouTube. The Top Cat, double fisting. Susie Mack, Ginger Juice.
Ginger Juice, that sounds really good.
Yeah, by the way, is Cordella watching? Is she in the comments, Cordella?
I didn't see her yet.
I didn't see her in the comments. All right. We'll wait for her to get in the comments. I just reminded me because I said Ginger Juice. We'll see. Wissam Al-Sawala. The parliamentarian says she has cancer and won't respond in 4 weeks. Is that true? I did not read that, but is that what Wassim Al-Sawala is reporting? That the parliamentarian's going to be out for 4 weeks? Oh. Could that be? Jill, can you find that out if that is true?
There's something
yeah, because the parliamentarian has not said anything yet.
Right.
We're going to talk about that anyway. Oscar Ortega also with a very tough message. Very, very tough message to the Democrats. He says the Democrats need to grow some balls and do the right thing.
That part. So,
Oscar Ortega with the pre-comment of the day.
Right.
All right,
I am reading on
what?
Political Wire. I'm not sure if this is
what
even let's see. Washington Post, I do see some okay, so on Political Wire it says parliamentarian out 2 weeks during critical time.
Okay, we don't know about cancer.
We don't. It just says out 2 weeks during critical time.
All right, we will do some research. But Wassim Al-Sawala breaking the news.
I know.
Breaking the news on
Producer
YouTube.
credit.
Yeah, producer credit there because I did not see that.
It just came out like 37 minutes ago, actually. So
and so we'll see what happens there. I guess that came out when I was doing my Starbucks run.
That's probably when it did.
That's what we need the squad
but
for.
Also, it could be. We don't know if it's real news or fake news. So we will find out.
Because it's only on one place.
Well, Politico is pretty accurate.
That's what I.
So, but let's see what's going on. All right, take it away, Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
Absolutely. All right, squad. You already know what time it is. It's time for you guys to share on all social media platforms because we're about to start schmoozing with Brad, talking headlines, including the Biden administration's newest move to bring back the DACA program months after a federal judge ruled it had not been properly implemented.
And it's time for some Tuesday's tea, sipping on celebrity headlines with Brad, including what actress and comedian Tiffany Haddish said she'd want to see her and her man Common get engaged.
Not just African, but Eritrean, like me. There we go.
I wonder if you have the same thought process when you would get engaged. We'll find out.
Ooh, we'll see.
And of course, you can call us right now to get on our show. 1-800-529-5465. That's the number not only to get on our show and ask me your immigration question or your legal issue. We'll be taking your telephone calls in about 20 or 25 minutes from now. But also it's a telephone number to our sponsor, Spar and Bernstein, which I am the president of. It's the same telephone number, 1-800-529-5465. The telephone number will be scrolling down. What's the way I want to say it? Down, along, down. No, neither one makes sense. The number's just scrolling at the bottom. Across. Sometimes I get tongue-tied across the bottom of your screen.
There you go.
I talk all day, and then I talk again for 2 more hours on our show.
Right.
So sometimes I'm like, what? 1-800-529-5465, 212-227-8933 outside of North America. And after I answer your immigration questions, after we check in with social media, we will be talking a little bit, by the way, in celebrity news about R&B star R. Kelly. He was convicted yesterday on 9 counts of sex trafficking. But later on in the show, I will be speaking with Sevonna M. Brown, the Assistant Executive Director of Black Women's Blueprint, an organization that works with survivors of sexual assault and partnered with Lifetime Television on the Surviving R. Kelly 2019 docuseries that shined new light on his decades-long history of alleged sexual abuse, and that started the ball rolling with new investigations that ultimately led to his conviction. And we'll be talking with Sevonna M. Brown about how she helps people survive who have already been abused both violently and sexually by predators. All right, let's get into some schmoozing. Boy, oh boy. These cards are getting heavier by the moment, Vanessa. I need to start lifting heavier weights. These things are at least
your cardio.
It is my cardio workout. You know, I just kind of fan myself for 25 minutes here. No, they're not that heavy, but they seem to be getting heavier.
Yes.
I can
It's a
still,
lot of news.
I can still handle the weight of these cards.
All right.
Thank God, until I become a grandpa.
Yeah.
And then it would be a.
I wasn't gonna say it.
I knew you weren't going to say it, but I knew you were thinking
Horrible.
it. I knew you were thinking it. I knew you were thinking it.
I'm going to extend that joke today.
Yeah.
That was it.
By the way, I'm just making an announcement now. When people start calling in and saying, "Grandpa Brad, how are you?" I will be hanging up.
Okay, immediately.
I will be hanging up my Brad Show Live cards. That will be the end of it. Thank you very much. And I'll be joining Vanessa in Miami for my retirement. All right. Meanwhile, the White House, in immigration news, the White House is attempting to bring back the Obama-era deferred action. You may have read about it in the news. It was all over the news in the last day or two. And what happened, what's going on is this. President Biden, when he came into office, he said he reversed Donald Trump's rules that said that there would be no additional, what? Something's here. Thank you very much. That there would be no additional, what am I saying now? Because I was just handed something.
You were just saying.
Let's go back again.
Right.
Let's go to schmoozing with Uncle Brad. Let's go. All right. Thank you very much for starting all over again. Now, so President Biden said he's going to start accepting new DACA applications, and he changed the rule without going through the regulatory process. He was sued by the Texas governor. There was a federal judge that stopped new DACA applicants from making new applications because Biden didn't follow the rules that are required to change regulations and rules in the U.S. government. Similar to when President Trump,
I was about to say, right.
Similar to when President Trump tried to end the DACA program and did not follow the regulatory rules to end the program. That's why DACA survived Trump. And then Biden did the same dumb thing and tried to change rules without going through the regulatory process. And that program to accept new DACA applications was turned down because he didn't follow the rules. Did the same thing that Donald Trump did.
So when they do this, why do
so
they
now
not
that's why immigration's not accepting new DACA applications. Now today, Biden is now following the rules. Okay, he has to go through a 60-day comment period for people to comment on whether this is a good rule or a bad rule. There's a process to go through, but he is starting the process of allowing new DACA recipients to file for DACA. And that process is going to take months. So if you have not been in the DACA program but want to file for the DACA program, you're going to wait probably 3 or 4 months before immigration is able to accept new applications. Biden is now following the regulatory process. It's a 60-day comment rule, and then after that, a final rule will be published, and then new DACA applications will be able to be accepted. So that's what's going on in DACA news. So hopefully sometime over the winter, those young adults who came here as children who have yet to file for DACA will be able to do it. Meanwhile, Florida, the state of Florida is suing President Biden's administration over its policies regarding the southern border. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody announced the lawsuit today at a news conference in Fort Myers. DeSantis and Moody said the state is being negatively impacted by the federal government's catch and release immigration policies, and that Biden is pushing immigrants that they catch and then release at the border towards Florida. DeSantis said, I think this is intentional. I think this is ideological. They want massive illegal migration into this country. I don't know what's going to happen with this lawsuit. I just think it's a lot of politics, Vanessa.
Listen, there's so many. I'm still figuring out my whole Floridian political stance, but I see these conversations amongst my peers here in Florida all the time. I don't agree with this one. I still don't know how I feel. There's people that I bumped into someone and they're like, oh, you're from Florida, you have like the best governor or whatever, and I'm like,
well, it depends what political stand you take.
Right.
You know, you have the best governor if you want to make America great again.
Right.
And if you don't like wearing that stupid red hat, maybe you don't have the best governor. Depends on what side of the aisle you're on. You know?
one of those where you just nod and...
Right. It's like,
you know, he takes a lot of credit for, you know, keeping Florida open during the pandemic when a lot of other states were closed. But, you know, he's lucky he's the governor of Florida, because if he was the governor of a large state in cold weather state, Florida's having problems with COVID. They would have had a lot of problems because most of Florida is open, restaurants and everything else.
This is true.
So that's why he was able to get, I think, away with it, although there's a lot of people still dying in Florida. All right, so meanwhile, we have an update on the parliamentarian.
Oh.
Our crack staff, Jilly, did the research. The Senate parliamentarian, who is the arbiter of whether or not Plan B to change the registry date, to do the 245I extension, well, she is the arbiter of whether or not it is allowed to get into the reconciliation bill. She is going to be out for the next 2 weeks for treatment of stage 3 breast cancer.
Oh,
so that is correct. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell made the announcement to their respective caucuses on Tuesday. Now, she is expected, nevertheless, in the next 2 weeks, despite being out, to deliver several key rulings on what Democrats could put into their reconciliation package in the coming weeks, as the majority party is still struggling to put the reconciliation package together. Now, that coincides with there's two bills in the House of Representatives that need to be passed. There's the infrastructure bill, which is $1 billion in infrastructure, which was already passed by the Senate, which the moderate Democrats want to pass. The progressive Democrats say they're willing to pass it, but they want the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. And they want that reconciliation bill to be voted on with the infrastructure bill. The reason is they want to withhold their support for the infrastructure until they get support for the things that they want, that the progressives want, such as government assistance for child care, paid leave, free community college, programs to combat climate change and to expand health insurance access, and of course, the registry, the Plan B, the registry, the 245I, and the other immigration-related bills. They want that to be voted on in conjunction with the infrastructure bill, because they feel that if they withhold their support for the infrastructure bill, they can use that as a bargaining chip to get others to support the $3.5 trillion reconciliation package. Now, all of this has a monkey wrench now,
right,
because the parliamentarian's going to be out for 2 weeks, And that coincides with Nancy Pelosi, who probably knew before it became public that the parliamentarian is going to be out for 2 weeks.
Right.
Because it was recently announced a few hours earlier that they are going to move forward with the infrastructure vote in the House of Representatives this Thursday. Why is that important for immigration and the reconciliation? Because if the infrastructure passes on Thursday, there is less bargaining chips that the progressives can make. It's going to make the reconciliation package a smaller package. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make immigration different, because I believe that the moderate Democrats and the progressive Democrats both want this immigration package to pass. It may make other things in the reconciliation package, such as paid family leave, free college, expanded health care, changes to combat climate legislation to combat climate change. Those things could be pared down, and the progressives may not get as much as they want. Again, we also have to wait what happens with the parliamentarian. Obviously, she's now sick. That puts a monkey wrench in it. So it looks like right now, as a result of all of this, it looks like the infrastructure bill is going to be voted on Thursday. The progressives are not going to vote in favor of it. So that means that Nancy Pelosi is betting that there is a group of moderate Republicans who will also vote for the infrastructure bill, because they're going to lose. They're not going to get full Democratic support on this. Just like there was 13 Republican senators who voted for it. And I believe that Nancy Pelosi is a smart lady and would not put it up for a vote if she didn't think that she had at least some Republican support to pass it. What that's going to ultimately do is it's going to pare down over the next 2 weeks the reconciliation package from $3.5 trillion to something less than $3.5 trillion. Maybe it'll be $2.5 trillion. Maybe it'll be a $2 trillion package. There will ultimately be a reconciliation package, but now the bargaining power will definitely head towards the moderates, especially now since the parliamentarian can't rule on many of the provisions that they want to put in the reconciliation package anyway. And by the way, the final vote is in, Vanessa. After the recount, Joe Biden still won Arizona.
Oh, are we still talking about
We're
that?
still talking about it.
Come
They
on.
did a recount, and it turns out that Biden actually gained 261 votes.
Oh.
He won by more votes than previously thought. And despite all of this, I believe, despite all of this, what is the percentage of people that 6 out of 10 Republicans still believe that the election was stolen from Donald Trump?
Gosh.
Would you believe that?
I don't believe that they really believe that.
Well, they really believe it. 6 out of 10 Republicans believe, even after the recount, confirming what was already known.
Crazy.
Is that crazy?
Yes.
And by the way, this recount was done by the cyber ninjas who were hired by the Republicans because it's a Republican county. So if anything, they would skew towards Trump than Biden.
Right.
And they found more votes for Biden than previously even thought. And in some sad news, Vanessa, Rudy Giuliani, your friend Rudy Giuliani, he's your friend, this guy? Not really.
Absolutely not.
He's been banned from Fox News in a sad state of affairs for Rudy.
Bad.
Yeah, he has been banned from.
Oh, wow.
He's been banned from Fox News, and the reason he was banned from Fox News, no one has said exactly why, but probably because of all of the lies he told about the fraudulent election that wasn't fraudulent. Now Fox News is being sued by Dominion Voting Systems, which manufactured the voting machines that are used in most of the states around the United States. Fox News is being sued for over $2 billion, I think, for libel and slander, in which allowing Rudy Giuliani and several other Trump supporters to come on and say that the election was stolen from Donald Trump, partly because Dominion rigged their machines in favor of Biden. So now, as a result of this lawsuit, Giuliani has now been banned from ever appearing on Fox News.
Ever?
Ever.
Oh, wow.
At least in the near term. At least in the near term.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, I don't watch Fox News anyway, so who cares?
Right.
Is this going to bother you at all, Vanessa?
I think I might be okay.
I'll be okay. But it's poor Rudy that can't be on Fox News anymore. Anybody crying for him? Vanessa, are you crying for Rudy Giuliani? No.
Gonna have to say negative with
Negative,
that one
negative
again.
on both.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, in coronavirus news, because we're still in the middle of a pandemic, our friends at the Johns Hopkins University now report 42.9 million confirmed coronavirus cases in the United States of America. And that's, by the way, I mean, at what point, I wonder, do we get to like a herd immunity? If 60, 70% of Americans are at least vaccinated, at least one shot, and 42 million more, some of whom have already been vaccinated like me, have had COVID, I wonder at what point we get to herd immunity, between the people who are vaccinated and the people who had COVID.
At this point, I don't think there ever will be a point.
I don't know.
You can't catch it twice. Have we heard of any
Yes,
cases?
You
Absolutely
can catch it twice because
Absolutely.
your antibodies eventually go down. But the fact that you've had COVID or the fact that you're vaccinated, if you catch it a second time, it's not as deadly.
Right.
It's not as severe. And certainly the likelihood of catching it is extremely low, but not non-existent. Meanwhile, if you had 2 Pfizer shots already and you are over the age of 65, you're immunocompromised, or you work in a job that puts you in contact with lots and lots of people, you are authorized to get a third Pfizer booster. The million-dollar question is, what about the people who had Moderna?
Right.
What about the people who had Johnson & Johnson? Well, the people who had Johnson & Johnson like me, we don't know yet. Nor do the Moderna people know. Although Dr. Fauci has said that in the next 2 to 3 weeks, the U.S. will be advising people who had the Moderna shot, as well as the Johnson & Johnson shot, what they should be doing regarding a third booster.
Well, yours is only a second booster.
Mine would be a second. Mm-hmm. Are you looking forward to a booster shot?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Especially if it makes me feel the same way I felt. How'd you feel, Nesquik, like with your second one?
No, I was good.
You were fine?
Again, it was just like a little arm soreness, but
you're lucky.
No, second one. No, I think the second one, I didn't even make the show one day. Just kidding.
Yeah.
With
Yeah, it was the first one that you didn't really feel anything.
Yeah, the first one but the second one, it caught up to me.
It messed me up, y'all. It messed me up. I ain't gonna hold you. It messed me up. I did not feel good. So I just hope that the booster doesn't make you feel the same way.
Yes. All right. Well, we have some tea. And by the way, the exact amount that Fox News was being sued by, we just looked it up, $1.6 billion.
Yes.
1.6.
It's a lot.
1.6 billion. You ready for some tea?
Yes.
Let's do some tea. What do we got?
No notes?
I'm the singer.
What do you have? What do you have today?
Peppermint.
Peppermint tea.
Peppermint. No notes?
There's no note today.
Just singing.
Don't have the signs.
No tea. We have tea, no notes.
I sang a song. That's a note.
All right.
Oh, okay. That is
All right.
a note.
What kind of tea do we have today?
Yeah,
Peppermint.
Thank you very much. We like to take for those who are just
Thank you.
watching
You
for the
can take
first
it.
time. We always like to take a break on Tuesdays to have some tea and see what's going on in celebrity news. Cheers.
Cheers.
Right?
Ooh, it smells very minty.
This is very good. I love just stopping the show and having some tea. I hope our squad is having some tea as well. It's always nice to have tea. It's very soothing.
It is. Let's get into the tea now.
All right, let's get into some tea. Meanwhile, like we said at the top of the show, R&B star R. Kelly convicted yesterday in New York following a 6-week-long trial. A jury of 7 men, 5 women found the 54-year-old guilty on all 9 counts of sex trafficking. Kelly was also convicted of criminal counts accusing him of violating the Mann Act, which makes it illegal to take anyone across state lines for immoral purposes. The charges date back decades, stem from 6 complaining witnesses, including the late singer Aaliyah, called Jane Doe number 1 by prosecutors. Kelly, whose real name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, did not take the stand during his trial. He has been in prison since his arrest in July 2019. Sentencing is scheduled for May 4th, 2022, and he faces at least 10 years and could possibly face life in prison. And of course, his attorney said they would be appealing. It's the whole thing is trifling is not even the word.
Look at that. That's a picture of him and Aaliyah when she was underage.
You know, and
so it's disgusting.
It's sad because, you know, he had an entourage of managers and aides
that didn't say nothing.
They didn't say anything. It was almost like they were, you know, they were helping him.
So that's what I'm saying. So I feel like, no shade, like, of course he deserves all of everything that's happening to him, but I think that there's a lot more people that should be in trouble as well. Like, I feel like the parents of the underage girls should get something, because I don't think that, you know, it, like, I'm thinking about me or like my sister. My parents wouldn't have allowed her to just go at the age of 13 on tour with him.
He got charged with racketeering because it was like almost like an organized crime because his entourage was helping him.
So and then the entourage that was helping him, why aren't they, like, they should get in trouble as well?
They may very well. I wouldn't be surprised if they're next. I would not be surprised.
I feel like there's so many more people that should, because it's not right. You know, it's not right. It's disgusting. And if they help, then they should get in trouble as well.
One of them got immunity from prosecution, Demetrius Smith.
And that's because what he was telling
he testified, that Kelly illegal 1994 marriage to the late singer Aaliyah, who was then 15. They did that after he began a sexual relationship with her and believed she had become pregnant with his child.
Yeah.
And you want to know what also? He was found innocent in 2008 by a jury that deliberated 8 hours, and he was found innocent of 14 counts of possessing child pornography. And I think after he won that case, and because of his fame and everyone telling him how wonderful he is, you almost feel like you're invincible.
Invincible. That's right? What I feel like he felt.
Yeah, he felt he was invincible. And I don't, you know, it's been reported that he himself, which is also sad in a way, that he himself was the victim of child abuse as a child himself. And it's usually those that are sexually abused as children, sometimes end up being sexual abusers as adults.
Yeah.
And that's sad that he himself didn't get the help.
Yeah.
Just sad all around, because he was a wonderful talent otherwise.
Oh, brilliant.
But being a wonderful talent doesn't give him the right to do what he did.
So I do have a question. Now, this is probably for Nesquik and the squad, because I doubt Brad listened to R. Kelly. But I do actually want to ask, like, for those who are big fans of R. Kelly's music, because his discography is brilliant. Like, this man is brilliant when it comes to music. Is it wrong to still listen to his music? I mean, you can still answer even if you don't like or know about his music. Like, say it was one of your favorite artists.
If you listen to his music, if you listen to it on a streaming service or whatever, or you download it, I mean, he is earning money even in jail from you listening. If they play it on the radio, he does get a royalty from it. You know,
and remember, we grew up with these songs too.
There are people who can separate the two, and if you can separate, you know, listening to a song versus listening to the
artist, the person.
He's a butcher for all, you know, who sang it. There's others who can't. There's others who can't separate the two.
He's so canceled.
He's canceled.
I can't listen to "Step in the Name of Love" with Love anymore. Like, I can't listen.
So my thing is, so
I can't cancel Michael. I can't cancel Michael.
Oh no, Michael ain't do nothing. You can't cancel him. Listen, I will stand by MJ. He ain't do nothing. But listen, I say that to say, so how about the people that worked with R. Kelly, that knew about, you know, these allegations? There's so many artists that we listen to, like Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child. There's so many people that he wrote for and produced. He's a big producer and writer as well. So like, how about those people who worked with him? So it's kind of like, you know, a trickling thing. You know, it kind of goes down the whole hill. Like, if you're gonna cancel him, why won't we cancel all the other big time artists that he's worked with? You know, I just, you know, devil's advocate, just want to throw the conversation in.
Yeah. Well, you know, I don't know if I want to listen to him anymore. I mean, there's a I forgot his name. I was just trying to Google. I forgot their name. You know, there was a composer, a favorite composer of Adolf Hitler.
Oh.
Yes. And he has the songs that you would hear in classical music, Wagner, yes, that you would hear in classical music that people love. But it was a favorite. He was German, and he was a favorite composer of Adolf Hitler. And there are Jewish people to this day who can't listen to his music because it represents the Holocaust and Nazism and everything. Other people, they don't care. They listen anyway.
Yeah, so I'm over here reading in the comments because, like I said, I asked the squad because I would like to know. Fiona Williams says, I'm still going to listen to his music. I can separate. Sisha Mitchell says, I can still listen to the music. Joan Erica was like, I have no idea what he sings until people start telling you what he's saying. Like when Nesquik said, step in the name of love. She's like, oh, I know stepping in the name of love. Right. You know, I believe I can fly. That's a huge Space Jam song. That's a huge song. You know, there's so many songs out there. But Cynthia Wallace saying, I don't listen anymore, sorry, in caps. So, you know, it's mixed. I can still listen because I grew up with the music and, you know, I don't support him. But if his song come on, you know, I might do a little two-step.
Just a PSA, because we were looking for her earlier. Cordella Douglas is on YouTube, and she's having some grapes while she's watching the show.
Ooh, okay. Grapes.
Very good. And the only reason, all right, well, we'll talk about Cordella's thing tomorrow. But the other thing going on is, did you see Tiffany Haddish?
Yes.
All right. She says she doesn't want a ring. She wants real estate.
I respect that.
Yeah, on her podcast with Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett, you know, she's dating Common. She says, you know, they present you with a ring. I want him to present me with the deed to a duplex or a 36-plex. Present me with an apartment building.
There you go.
What do you think of that?
So, okay, Nesquik, you want to answer first?
I mean, why did you love that?
Because
is giving somebody an apartment showing you love them more than giving a ring?
Let her say.
What does it show more?
I mean, I could lose the ring.
But it's insured.
I have an answer for me.
Tell your answer.
Believe. So I know about Tiffany's past. She's from LA as well.
That's where I was gonna go.
Right, she's from LA.
I read her book.
Exactly, and she struggled to get into the industry. She worked her butt off. She had like a small LA house that she was paying off, and even when she got famous, she was still paying it off. She did not sell it because she wanted that little land. You know, that was hers. So when you come from nothing and like you're literally just making it in your 40s, you appreciate, you know, like
what happened to love?
What is?
But that doesn't mean he loves her.
Just because of a ring?
But versus buying an apartment, you know, a ring.
That's generational.
By the way, diamonds are as valuable as real estate. It's not like diamonds are less valuable.
But then she can help people as well.
Diamonds are just as valuable. And by the way, a diamond is easier to turn into cash than real estate.
But maybe she doesn't care about that.
Also the same woman that wore the same dress
for 2
years because she didn't care. Like,
that's the type of person. Yeah, she says
down. She spent a ton of money on it.
She spent $10,000 on that dress, and she said, "I'm going to wear that." I respect it.
She lived out of a car. Her story. Right. That's exactly what I heard this.
So
She
what
lived out of-
what really matters is what Common thinks. And I know we have a video of what he said, and that's what really matters. If the person that she loves and he loves her says that they agree with it, then case is closed.
Oh yeah, if they're all happy, it's fine. What do we care? It's not our life. All right. All I know is, whoever you are out there, when I get married again, you're getting a ring. You're not getting a deed to an apartment. Let's see what Common said.
Yeah, she always says that.
She always says that?
She's about getting the land, man. I love that. I mean, that's hey, I respect that.
All right, he respects it. There you go. So he better start contacting his real estate broker instead of his jeweler. What can we say, right?
I'm here for it.
All right, if they're all happy, I'm happy too. All right, where are we at now? That is our Tuesday tea. And in today's Braducation, I explained why the police always ask for permission to search your car. They're not just being polite. My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your decriminalization Braducation. I'm not here to tell you what you want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. When a police officer has probable cause that a crime is being committed by you, the officer has a right to arrest you. This notion of probable cause comes from the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution. It protects people from unreasonable search and seizures. It is not a guarantee against all searches, but just those that are unreasonable. Do the cops have a right to search your car or truck if you get pulled over? If a police officer pulls you over or approaches your vehicle, provide the paperwork they ask for. But if they ask to search your vehicle, whether you have something to hide or not, your answer should always be no. No, you cannot search my vehicle. Your right is that the police cannot search your vehicle. You may notice that the police sometimes, when they stop your vehicle, look through the windows. It's because they're only allowed to search your car if they have reasonable suspicion that a crime is being committed based on what they see in plain sight. That is why the police always ask for permission to search your car. If you give them permission, it's no longer an illegal search. You invited the police to search your car. If the police want to search your car, they either have to arrest you for probable cause for committing a crime, or they need to get a search warrant while you sit on the side of the road. The point is, you have a right to privacy inside your vehicle. On the flip side, if you have something even small incriminating against you in plain sight of the officer looking through your window, then the police have the right to search your vehicle and open the trunk and find some more incriminating stuff. And of course, you can watch all of our Braducations on OnlyFans, where I am the only fully clothed attorney on the entire site. You just follow us at Bradshaw Live on OnlyFans. All right, you got an immigration question. I've got your answer. Lines are locked and loaded for over 50 minutes. Almost every person, Jonathan, has been on hold for over 50 minutes. Poor people have been waiting a long time. I hope I can help them. Let's go to Amit in Indianapolis. Amit.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
What's going on?
Good. Sir, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sir, I got married on July 2019, and my interview is like adjustment of status, and my interview is scheduled on January 2021. And suddenly my lawyer said, Amit, your marriage was not legal. You have to remarry again.
Why was your marriage not legal?
Because she said when you get married, your wife divorce is not fully finalized.
Ah, okay.
So, yeah.
So you remarried. You have to withdraw your adjustment and file a new one now.
So she said, you just withdraw the first file, and I withdraw the first file on January 21.
But why didn't your attorney catch this the first time around?
Because she said I did mistake because she didn't check my proper file.
Okay. All right. So your marriage wasn't legal, and you had to remarry again now that your wife was fully divorced. Sometimes they did what your wife had a NISI and didn't have the full divorce. Is that kind of what happened?
Yes.
Right.
Actually, I withdraw my file and I remarried again on February.
Okay. So what's the problem?
With my wife.
So tell me what the problem is now.
So I got an interview and I cleared the interview. I got 10-year green card, and
what you got a 10-year green card on the first marriage or on the second marriage?
So when I interviewer opened my both files.
Amit, I don't understand what you're saying to me. Maybe it's just today. I don't understand. I don't know. You got divorced. I mean, you got remarried again after your wife got. You filed an adjustment application. Your wife was not fully divorced. That application's no good. You withdraw that application. Your wife's now fully divorced. You remarry again. You file a new adjustment application.
Yes.
And you go on that interview and you got your green card. What's the problem?
So problem is this. So I got 10-year green card with new marriage. That new marriage is 2021.
Amit, you're putting me to sleep here. What is your problem?
Yeah, I said my problem is that I got 10-year green card, and my lawyer said, Amit, we have to send this green card to USCIS.
I understand. You got a 10-year green card, but you weren't married for 2 years when you got your 10-year green card. So they issued you an incorrect green card. So what you do is you file an I-90 for replacement of an incorrectly issued green card.
Okay. It's mandatory, or should I hold this green card?
Well, you would have to return that green card because it's no good. What's going to happen is this. No one's going to realize this, that you got the wrong green card, until you either go to apply for your citizenship or you go to renew your green card in 10 years from now. In either scenario, you're going to end up with a huge problem. And the huge problem is going to be is they're going to say, you're not a resident of the United States. You had a 2-year permanent residence and you didn't file to remove the conditions of your permanent residence. And so you have two choices. You can hold on to your green card, and 90 days before the 2-year anniversary of you getting your green card, you can file an I-751 with a statement saying the green card was issued to me incorrectly. I only had it for, I was married for less than 2 years when I got my green card, so now I'm filing to remove the conditions, and you would be following the rules. Or what you really should do is file an I-90, return the green card, and get a new green card issued to you, which is a 2-year card.
Okay.
All right?
All right, sir.
All right. He didn't like my advice. Let's go to Eva in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Hello. Happy birth week.
Thank you, Eva.
So I applied for VAWA in February 2019. In September 2020, my VAWA I-360 was approved, and I received a notice that my I-485 was transferred from the government center to the National Benefit Center.
Okay.
And then followed up, I found that my I-485 was not transferred in September, and then they transferred it to the National Benefit Center in June 2021.
Okay.
I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
First, how long should I expect to wait to get an interview, green card interview?
From the time your VAWA is approved to the time you get a green card interview, you figure it's about anywhere from 8 to 12 months.
Okay. Even with the delay in the transfer, so the government said that they transferred the.
If there was some sort of delay and they sent it to the wrong place, it could be a little longer. I'm just telling you on a general basis, from what I see in my own practice, anywhere from 8 to 12 months, people are getting their interviews for their green cards after their I-360 is approved.
Okay. So other question that I'm engaged right now, and I'm planning to get married in just
your I-360 is approved?
Yeah.
Okay. If your I-360 is approved, you can get married.
Okay. So would it be faster to apply for a green card through?
No. Finish up your VAWA case.
Okay.
All right. Because for two reasons. For two reasons. One is you're just about done. And number two, when you get approved, you're going to get a 10-year green card. You'll be done. So there's no immigration pressure on your next marriage. Otherwise, there's going to be a lot of immigration pressure on your next marriage. You get a 2-year card, then you got to file to remove the conditions, and you're going through process after process. So just finish this up. You only have months to go.
I hope so. I've been waiting for so long.
Yes, I know.
Because,
but believe me, this will be faster than refiling.
Okay. So 1 year from June is the worst case scenario.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.
All right. Good luck.
Bye.
Tom in Miami. Tom.
Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Brad. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
A question. I've been in the country for 7 years now. Came as a student, and I'm with TPS. I would like to apply for asylum. Is that possible?
Perhaps you would have to show changed country conditions, meaning that the question is going to become, why are you now scared to go to your home country? Why are you making this application 7 years later? The law requires you to file it within 1 year of entering the U.S. If you do not file it within 1 year of entering the United States, you have to show something has completely changed that prevented you from filing, and now you're doing it. So what is that?
Well, in reality, the situation in the country has been bad since even before 7 years ago. But I didn't want to apply because I wanted to see my parents, and my father just recently passed away.
Yeah, no,
so
that's not a reason. That's not a reason. You would be denied.
Reason.
You would be denied. You'd be denied.
Okay.
What I just stay on the TPS, and let's see what happens with the immigration law changes before you start filing for asylum. Okay. We'll know.
Okay.
We'll know. Do I know when? We just found out the parliamentarian has cancer, so maybe it'll be delayed a week or two. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I saw that. If things go,
if things go the way it's supposed to, there will be a change in the registry date, and hopefully you would be included in that, and you would get a green card.
If not, do you still don't recommend that I apply for asylum?
No, because you would be denied.
Chances?
You would be denied.
Okay.
All right, 100%.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to Mamadou in Brooklyn. Mamadou.
Oh yes, hi. Hi, Brad.
Hi.
I'm 33. I'm 33 years of age. I'm single, and my mother's a green card holder for the past 5 years. She's a green card holder for the past 5 years.
Right.
So if she petitioned for me, how long would the process take until I get my green card?
5 to 7 years, and you would need a provisional waiver to go home and come back, unless you're in status.
You said 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
And I would need a petition.
It would be your mother would file a visa petition for you. You'd get the I-130 approved. You'd be on a waiting list for 5 to 7 years. At the end of that 5 to 7 year period, you would start processing at the National Visa Center. You would be required. I assume you've overstayed on your visa. If you've overstayed on your visa, you would need to do a provisional waiver based on hardship to your mother before you leave the United States. Have that waiver approved. Go to your home country, pick up your green card, and come back. That would be the process. It's about a 5 to 7 year wait, depending on the waiting list.
Okay.
All right. But do it, and I'll tell you why. Because it sounds like you don't have another option at this moment. So, and you could have multiple cases going for immigration at the same time. Nobody says because your mom's filing for you, you can't do anything else in the future. You have an opportunity to have your mom file for you. Do it. File it. Get the application in. If a different opportunity comes in the future, you fall in love, you get married, the laws change, whatever it may be, and you could take advantage of that opportunity and it would be faster, do it. The worst thing in the world you do is, oh, I don't want to wait 5 to 7 years. You do nothing, and then you call me in 5 years and you say, what could I do? And I tell you, by the way, if you filed 5 years ago when you called me in 2021, you'd have a green card. So file it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Nothing, and then you call me in 5 years.
Is there another question in there?
Okay. All right.
Is there any more questions?
Yes. Yeah. I'm also enrolled in DACA as well too. So what's the status of DACA? Are they gonna eventually give us green cards and stuff?
I only have a magic 8 ball, but it's not. We don't know the answer to that. I would assume at some point the answer is yes, but who knows when?
Okay, but we just don't know when.
We don't know when.
We just don't know when.
We don't know when. We don't know where. But I assume that ultimately, at some point in the future, people in DACA will get a green card.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Hang in there.
Appreciate
Hang
it.
in there.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Let's go to Nisrin in Orlando.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I have 2 questions to ask you, 2 different cases. The first question is that my husband has filed the I-601A by April 5th at Nebraska office, and he has done his biometrics by September 10th.
Wait. You're talking very fast for me. Your husband filed a 601A when?
I-601A. Yeah. By April 5th.
April 1st of 2021.
Yeah, at Nebraska office.
Okay. He's the one who needs the green card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
They're taking it's taking about 18 months right now, the 601As.
Okay, and he has done his biometrics by September 10th.
Okay, so I don't expect to hear till at least the summer.
Don't expect to hear till summer?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the answer. You answered my first question.
Okay.
So do you think he can leave once he's done his biometrics? Do you think that he can go to the home country, or he has to stay here?
He can go, but he won't come back unless he gets his waiver approved.
I know he can go to Jordan and wait for his waiver.
He can go to Jordan and wait for his waiver, but there's no guarantee. You have to understand something.
What?
There's no guarantee the waiver gets approved.
There is no guarantee that the waiver is approved.
That's correct.
Okay.
And if the waiver doesn't get approved, your husband's stuck in Jordan forever. The whole idea behind doing the provisional waiver is this. You go home with a guarantee. You have the waiver approved before you leave America. That's the whole idea behind the provisional waiver, so you go home with confidence that you're going to return. In years past, before the provisional waiver, you'd have to go home, apply for the waiver in Jordan or whatever country you're from, and you wouldn't know whether you'd get it or not. And you still, staying here, don't know whether you'll get it or not, but if you get it, you go home with confidence, and if you don't get it, you don't leave.
He will find another solution if he does not get it.
He's stuck. You love the man. If you want to be with him eventually, don't let him go anywhere.
No, I'm just asking if he can leave. That's why I'm asking you.
The answer is yes, you can leave, but he may never come back. That's my answer.
Nothing guaranteed, as you said.
Correct.
So you told me that he will get the letter maybe till next summer or before?
Next summer, probably. It's at least 18 months.
Which month? Because once we applied...
18 months. 18 months. 8 months.
Yeah, I know. It used to say 16
But you're asking me the same question. 18 months. You filed in April. Count 18 months. That's when you're going to hear. All right? Nice talking to you. Let's go to the next one. Ann in Long Island. I've answered the question 20 times. 18 months. 18 months. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Ann in Long Island.
Yes, Brad.
Yes. It's one of those days. Oh, my God.
I called you the other day asking you some questions, but I come back to ask you some more because I didn't fully understand.
What?
Okay, I just recently got my green card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were telling me that I have 2 sons that came from Jamaica.
Okay.
And I wanted to petition for them as well. But here's the thing. I'm living in Long Island now, but I got a job in Brooklyn. And I stay in Brooklyn sometimes. Sometimes I come back to Long Island. So when I file the petition for the boys, what address should I use?
Where do you do your taxes?
Where do I do what?
Where do you file your taxes?
I just got my green card. I don't file taxes as yet. I'm going to start this year.
So you have a home in Brooklyn and you have a live-in job in Long Island.
No, I live in Long Island, but I have a job in Brooklyn.
So then you file your taxes in Long Island. You file out of Long Island. That's where you live.
Yes.
Okay.
So file taxes in Long Island.
You file in the home where you live, not in the home where you work.
Okay, all right then. And then where I work now, this lady that I work with, she don't send me the tax papers. She don't. She says she don't.
If she's not withholding taxes on your salary, you go to an accountant and you say, I'm an independent contractor. You file as an independent contractor, an accountant takes deductions as you know, under the law.
And then you said when I filed for the boys, they would have to go to Jamaica to pick up their
How old are the children right now?
8 and 10.
Okay, and who sponsored you for your green card?
My daughter. I'm the parent of a U.S. citizen.
Your mother filed for
My
you.
daughter is a citizen.
Your brother?
Daughter.
Your daughter filed for you. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna file I-130 visa petitions for your 2 children. They would have to go back to Jamaica, but they do not have a bar to re-entry because they're going to return to Jamaica to pick up their green cards under the age of 18. So if they were undocumented in America under the age of 18, even if they entered the country without inspection under the age of 18, they can't be blamed for it because they were under 18. So nobody is going to bar them from re-entry. As long as you have a good affidavit of support, they will be fine and they'll get their green cards. So the final answer is you're going to file an I-130 visa petition for each of your children out of your Long Island home, because that's your home. You're going to, at the end of the year, file a tax return as an independent contractor. Your kids eventually will go home in 2 to 3 years from now.
So, brother, when will I know when to take them back for the green card?
After your I-130 is approved, and you're going to process at the National Visa Center, and you do the affidavits of support, and after that's all approved, they will transfer it to Jamaica, who will schedule you for an interview.
Oh, so when I get the interview date, that's when I go to do it and then pick
Correct.
up the green card.
And if you need help, maybe you need a little help, hold on 1 second, and we'll have a full consultation, okay? Hold on. Let's go to Ali in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Yes, hi. Good
Hi, how are
evening,
you?
Brad. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Yes, I have a question in regards to my father filed a I-130 visa petition for his brother back in 2014.
Right.
Coming on March 2022 marks 8 years. I would like to know, is there by any chance is possible his brother can come to the United States a little bit quicker for his case?
No, because there's a visa waiting list. You can't jump the visa waiting list. It is what it is. Let's see where they're up to right now on the visa bulletin. What country is he from?
He's from Egypt.
He is from Egypt. They're not going to give him a visitor's visa from Egypt because he's already shown an intent to get a green card on the F4 petition. And right now they're processing cases in March 22nd, 2007. So those cases that got filed in March 2007, that's who can get a green card. If it was after March 2007, he unfortunately just has to wait.
Okay, so it was filed on 2014, so that would not apply, correct?
Yeah, so he's going to have at least another 5 to 7 years, maybe longer.
So he needs at least 5 more years. So it takes around approximately 13 years to get to the States.
Perhaps minimum, maybe even longer.
Is there? So do you think there's any remedy for this? Let's say my dad owns
not through your dad sponsoring him as an F brother to brother. It is what it is. It's a very long wait. Are there faster ways? Maybe there's a job sponsorships. Maybe there's other family members, such as a parent, who can sponsor him. You would need to have a consultation. We'll figure out other options if they're available. But you're asking.
So it's
but
possible to hire an attorney.
But of course, it's always possible to hire an attorney. How do I feed myself? Of course. Hold on 1 second. Let's go to Kevin in the Bronx.
Hi, Brad.
Hi. How are you? Good.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So, Brad, I have actually 2 questions. So, I was married to a green card holder, and he was abusive to me. And I filed. When I filed my I-130, I went for a fingerprint, police clearance. I did the medical. I did everything, and then it couldn't work anymore. So I transferred my case to a VAWA case.
Okay.
So my VAWA case my I-360 was approved in August.
Great.
And on my approval notice letter, it says your priority date was March 31st, 2016.
Okay.
I was wondering, what does that mean?
It means that's when your application was filed. But for VAWA applicants, priority date doesn't really matter because the priority dates are current for both married to a citizen and married to a resident. So have you filed an adjustment application?
I filed an adjustment along with the I-360.
Okay. And when was the I-360 approved?
Approved in August, I think the 16th of August.
Just a month ago.
Yeah, my work permit code changed from C9 to C31.
Okay. So you should get an interview for your green card sometime towards the end of the winter, early spring. But the priority date is irrelevant to you. What's relevant now is that the I-360 got approved. Congratulations. Took a long time, but eventually got it approved. You're online to get the next adjustment interview, which is anywhere from 8 to 12 months from the time the I-360 is approved.
By end of winter,
by the end of the winter,
summer.
spring, somewhere in there.
Okay, thank you very much, Brad. I really appreciate
you're
your
welcome.
help.
Good
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, let's go to Teresa in Houston. Teresa.
Hello.
Hi, Teresa. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. Well, I have one question.
Yes.
I have my green card for 2.5 years.
Uh-huh.
I already got approved for remove that condition. So my question is, I am pregnant, so if I can use some help for the government because I don't have insert.
The answer is yes, because it's A, it's for your child, and B, it's not going to affect your citizenship. So the answer is yes.
Yeah, because the question, is like, I probably want to have problems when I become a
you are allowed to, you are a resident. Your unborn child will be a U.S. citizen. You're entitled to government benefits for that unborn child.
Oh, okay. So for my pregnancy, that's fine, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. And the other question is, it don't matter that I only have 2.5 years with my permanent residence?
No, no, it's fine.
There can be a problem because I don't have 5 years.
Well, who's the father of this child? Is it your husband or somebody else?
My husband.
Okay. What's the problem?
Because, I sometimes you saw many videos and the people say, you don't need to apply if you don't have 5 years with your
no, you're allowed
resident card.
You're allowed to give birth. And if you've had 2.5 years of being a resident, you've already had the conditions removed. In another 2 or 3 months, you can file for your citizenship. It's perfectly fine.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much.
Your only problem is you're listening to videos that don't make any sense to you. You're allowed to get government. You're allowed to get government benefits for your unborn child. You will file for your citizenship in a few months, and you'll have a beautiful life here. Congratulations.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Let's go to Jason in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Hi, Jason.
Hi. I'm calling from New Mexico. I just wanted to find out, I was an F1 student, and I came in, I got married. But before I got married, I was out of status for some time, but I was taking classes. And I was
you were out of status but taking classes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I got married in 2018. When I got married in 2018, I went back to the university to tell the international student representative that I got married, that this semester I'm not going to go to school. That's 2018. So I left. I came back home. In November of 2018, I got ICE call to my house, and I was taken.
Did you file
for 3 hours?
You're married to a U.S. citizen. Did you file? I understand ICE came. Did you file an adjustment application?
Yeah, I got married, but I didn't file immediately. But I was married with a certificate of marriage. Yeah.
So what happened now? So where are you now? Do you have a green card? Did they put you in removal? What happened?
No, I'm still in removal proceedings. The problem was when they gave me a date. They gave me a date, and we got there. The judge
Jason, let me ask you a question. Has your wife filed an I-130 visa petition for you?
Yes.
Okay.
She did.
Is it pending or was it approved?
No, pending.
Okay. Jason, this is your problem. okay? You got married, you went to school, you went to the school, you withdrew from the school. When you withdraw from the school, they take you out of the SEVA system. That automatically alerts Department of Homeland Security that you're out of status. They don't go after everybody, but they go after some people. You are unfortunate they went after. They held you for now being out of status. Nobody knows that you were going to file an adjustment because you had not done so yet. So you told the school you were out of status. They came for you. Unlucky you. They held you. They sent you to a judge. You now have to file an I-130 visa petition. It just takes longer. You have to wait for that I-130 visa petition to be approved and then go to see the judge with the approved I-130, and you have to adjust your status before the judge. As long as you're in a bona fide marriage, everything will work out. Just going to take longer now because you're in this dumb situation.
Okay.
So
Thank
you
you.
just got to wait, unfortunately. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to Ernest in San Antonio, Texas.
How you doing, sir?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you. I just have a very brief question. I guess if they update the registry and it becomes law, will people in removal proceeding be able to file for a green card?
If they had not applied for a green card and received one previously. So people in removal who are just undocumented, presumably yes. People who are in removal who have green cards, who are getting removed because they didn't remove the conditions of their residence or they have a criminal record, registry would not apply to them.
Okay, what about say you have a green card that is pending, an application that is pending?
Presumably yes. Registry is for people who do not have green cards.
Okay.
All right. So if you had a green card, you can't do registry. If you don't have a green card, then the answer is yes.
Okay.
Okay. So in your
Thank you,
particular case, I think yes. Let's see what happens.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Let's go to Kyle in Lawrence, Kansas. Kyle. Kyle in Lawrence, Kansas. Going once. Kyle in Lawrence, Kansas going twice. Kyle in Lawrence, Kansas, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to you. Let's go to Melva in Brooklyn. Melva.
Okay.
Hi, Melva.
Hi, Bud.
How are you?
My son went for citizenship interview.
Mm-hmm.
He was told he passed the test, but they have to write him. However, in 2006, he was up for deportation, and the judge said to him, "You hurt nobody but yourself," because he had some charges for drugs. And you was in the military on your own. I'm going to send you home. After that, he never got into trouble.
This is the
what is that situation?
This is an immigration judge or a criminal judge?
Pardon me?
What judge sent him home? An immigration judge or a local criminal judge?
This is the citizenship.
No. You told me in 2006 your son was in the military. He had a problem with drugs. And he saw a judge. And I said,
Yes.
Is this the local criminal judge in the local criminal court? Is this an immigration judge? Is this a military tribunal? Which judge sent him home?
The judge with the deportation in 2006.
Okay, so he was in.
He said to him,
One second. When your son had a green card,
yes,
the judge gave him something called cancellation of removal.
I think so.
Okay, all right, and your son got cancellation removal, and since 2006, clean record.
Yes.
If your son got what's called cancellation removal, which means that he won his deportation case and he was sent home, and he was able to keep his green card, he's had a clean record from 2006 to the present, that leads me to believe two things. Number one, he has more than 5 years good moral character. Number two, he does not have any aggravated felonies, and therefore he will become a citizen. You just got to wait for them to review all the documents.
Oh, so they're going to review it and get back
Yes,
to him.
yeah, but based on what I'm assuming you are telling me, he's good to go.
Okay.
Hang in there.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Brad, and I'm going to recommend you.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Okay, you too. Be well. Stay safe.
Okay, thank you.
All right. See, that's a good call. Even if she didn't know, she didn't fully know everything. She didn't ask the same question 25 times.
That part.
Right. That drives me crazy.
We
Christopher
know.
in the Bronx.
We know.
He's good to go. Okay. Thank you so much, brother. I'm going to
Christopher.
you.
Yes, good evening, sir.
How are you?
Not bad. Two questions. My case, it is changed now to the case is ready to go for an interview. Do you know when can it I'll get an interview date?
That's your question.
Yes.
Okay, Jonathan. Christopher calls me from the Bronx. His case changed to interview. I don't know anything about his case.
No. Listen, Mr. Brad, listen.
What?
It is changed. It is changed to say case is ready to be scheduled for an interview.
Christopher, you
yes,
must
sir.
think I'm brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, you must really think I'm brilliant. And I appreciate that you have full confidence in me, but
Yeah.
I don't even know what the interview is. This is for your green card, your citizenship?
Yes,
What
yes,
are we
it's all
talking
green
about?
card. I'm
for your
sorry,
green card.
It's all green
Okay.
card. Yes,
All
I'm
right.
more American.
When did you file the adjustment?
I filed the adjustment around 6-7 months ago.
Somewhere, if it got changed to ready for an interview, it's good news in the sense that you don't need to submit any additional documents. They got everything they need to schedule you for an interview. Okay.
Yes.
When will you be scheduled? Nobody knows but the immigration gods. I would assume you're calling from the Bronx. Your application's in New York. New York cases are taking about a year. You're 6 months into it. Sometime between now and the end of the summer, you should be called.
Okay.
I mean, not the end of the summer, end of the winter. Excuse me.
Okay. And the next thing, when you think I will get my work permit?
When did you do your biometrics?
3rd of August.
By early November.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
All right, you too.
All right. And by the way, if you didn't get your immigration question asked and answered, you could always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. You follow me on Instagram on Real Brad Bernstein. You could drop me a DM. I'll try to answer your questions as best as I can. You could also follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. You follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. You can handle 2 hours of Brad, Yo-Yo, and Vanessa. I don't know why you would never be able to handle 2 hours, but some people can. And if you can't, follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live because it's only 30, 45 seconds of your life. You can also follow us on TikTok. It's our fastest growing social media platform. You follow us on TikTok. You could leave a comment. You could leave a question. You could leave whatever you'd like. And I may respond in a video directly right to you. I do it 12 to 18 times a day. And Yo-Yo and Vanessa, what do you got?
Yep, you guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.ContrerasTV.
And after social media check-in, later in the show, I'm going to be speaking with Sevonna M. Brown, the Assistant Executive Director of Black Women's Blueprint. It's an organization that works with survivors of sexual assault and partnered with Lifetime Television on the Surviving R. Kelly 2019 docuseries that shine new light on his decades-long history of alleged sexual abuse and violence against women and minors.
And right now, emergency room nurse Damian Mark, who we spoke to at New York City Hometown Heroes Ticker Tape Parade, tells us the #1 change he would like to see made in immigration reform. Now let us know about your thoughts on this in the comments, and we're going to be checking them out.
What is the #1 change you want to see in U.S. immigration reform?
I don't want to elaborate too much on things that I don't know about, but I do know they had this program with the DACA program where people who immigrated here and have children, they had programs where they're able to go ahead and get citizenship or green card status. I think that's definitely need to stay in place because if you come into the country illegally, I don't think it matters as a child, you was born here, so it wasn't your fault that your parents come here illegally. So I think this is something that is stay in place, and it should not affect the children of them going to school, getting any kind of green card citizen status. I think that it should be an easy transition for them to continue to live in the United States with not a problem. That's what I would like to see.
All right, Yo-Yo and Vanessa have been scouring the comments for social media check-in for everybody's issues, problems, and questions. What do you got?
We got them right here. All right, Crystal Perry, a Brad Squad VIP member, is the first one. Can I go to the U.S. on a visitor's visa and adjust my status if documents qualify instead of waiting in my country?
Well, you can't come to the United States with the intent of adjusting your status, but if you come to the United States on a visitor's visa with the intent of visiting and 90 days later you decide to change your mind and adjust your status, that's okay. Wink, wink.
I was about to say, that's definitely a wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Nenny G. Rucker, Brad Squad VIP. My cousin is from St. Vincent and the Grenadines and overstayed her visa. She has been living in the U.S. for many years now. She also has a heart issue and has to be on dialysis. I asked the lawyer if she would be a good candidate for deferred and forced departure because if she goes back home, she wouldn't be able to afford the treatment. The lawyer told me she wouldn't be a good candidate. Is that true?
I don't think so. I think it's worth looking into.
All right, Samantha Jones on Facebook. How many?
And by the way, it's not so much you can't afford the treatment. It's more they don't have the treatment. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Okay, but we could look into it.
Wink, wink. Wink, wink.
Yes.
All right, Samantha Jones on Facebook. How many times can I file for VAWA if I got denied for the first time?
The second time, the third time, the fourth time. You can apply 1,000,000 times as long as you're not divorced more than 2 years.
Shanika Royal on YouTube. How high of a chance is it to get an approval after being denied now that my citizen wife is pregnant and we have been married for 2 years?
Well, I don't know why you were denied previously. If they didn't believe it was a real marriage and she's pregnant with your child, I think that goes a long way to proving it's a real marriage.
Zora Babel Jengu on YouTube. My brother has a B2 visa appointment. I'm a green card holder from marriage. He's scared of saying he has relatives in the U.S. What should we do?
Why is he scared of saying he has relatives in the U.S.?
Because the brother has a B2 visa appointment and, you know, the brother is a green card holder from marriage.
I think I would be scared to lie. That would be scarier. Tell the truth. And somebody violates immigration laws has no effect on you personally, but what would have an effect on you is lying.
Ginger Juice on YouTube. My friend has a baby by a U.S. citizen, but they're not together, and the baby was born in South Africa. He was on a J1 and wants to immigrate to the U.S. Does she have a way with just the baby and without the father?
There's no baby filing for mother application, unfortunately.
God's Warrior on YouTube. When I filed for my son, he was denied his naturalization certificate or certification for a reason I'm not sure of, but he has his U.S. passport. He recently got married. What will he have to do to file for his wife?
Well, he has to get his certificate of citizenship. If he has a U.S. passport and immigration denied his certificate of citizenship, they're already on record saying he's not a U.S. citizen. Department of Homeland Security, who issues the certificate of citizenship, that trumps the U.S. passport. So we got to figure out if, in fact, he's a U.S. citizen or not, and then fix that problem.
Victory Naboya on YouTube. After my freshman year of high school, my I-20 was in terminated status without my knowledge for the past 3 years. Now I'm trying to get into college, but I can't, and I'm scared of leaving the country. What can I do?
But why? I don't know why it was terminated without your knowledge, and you were going to school this whole time and you didn't realize. That sounds strange to me. But what you need to do is reinstate your status and have a really good excuse why you were out of status for 3 years. We'll start with, I didn't know I was out of status for 3 years, but we'll have to really dig deep and figure out why you didn't know that.
Claudia Green on YouTube. My son is 22 years old and is waiting his I-751 interview. His 18 months expired last week and we've heard nothing yet. He goes to a university. Will that affect him, and can I file for him as a green card holder?
You don't need to file for him as a green card holder. He's still a lawful resident of the United States. He just doesn't have evidence of it. You don't lose your resident status because your green card expired or that 18-month extension expired until immigration decides on your case. If the school's giving him a problem, he can make a local appointment at the local immigration office and get a temporary stamp in his passport. But he's a lawful resident.
Ayawawi Taluwallis on Facebook. After I have submitted the N400 form, how many months will it take to get citizenship?
About 12 months. By the way, I have a question here. Marian Azubiki Iwi has a question. I just wanted to confirm. Brad, are you an immigration lawyer?
Oh.
I'll let Vanessa and Jonathan answer that one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. This is an immigration show.
What do you think I've been doing for the last 30 years? Okay, continue.
Probably a newcomer. Well, welcome.
Welcome.
If you are. All right. Asma Siddiqua Syed on YouTube. My husband's parents are currently U.S. citizens, and they sponsored him in 2019. He got his I-130 approved recently. He was born in Saudi Arabia, so our interview is there, even though we're under a TN visa living in the U.S. Can we change our interview to here, and what should we expect next?
All right, so they're on a TN visa here, and who's sponsoring them?
The husband's parents are currently U.S. citizens, and they sponsored him in 2019.
If the priority date is current and you're on a TN visa, you could adjust your status here. But if it was sponsored in 2019, they got a long way to go before their priority date becomes current.
Talagar Salia on YouTube. I have been here since 2009, but I have been outside of the country for 4 months. Will I be qualified for the registry process?
She's out of the country, or he's out of the country now? I don't know what that means.
No, it says I've been here since 2019, but been outside of the country for 4 months. So
I don't know what the registry process will be, but you have to be here every day from a specific date. We'll see what that specific date is.
Okay, Melissa Johnson on YouTube. I filed for my adult stepkids. They're now 22 and 23, and they've been in the U.S. since June 2021. The 22-year-old is acting out and being disrespectful. What's the process of sending her back?
There is no process of sending her back. The 22-year-old is an adult. You have no control over her anymore. You can choose not to sponsor your child. You can choose to disown your child and say, I don't want to deal with you anymore. But there's no, I want to send you back. That's for the government. And you have no control over a 22-year-old anymore. They're an adult.
Victory Naboya on YouTube. Can I be adopted by my legal guardian who is a citizen even though I'm 19? Will I be eligible to get a green card that way?
No. There is no adoption of a 16-year-old, but the legal guardian... 19. I know, because she's over 16. Because they're over 16. Okay. But the legal guardian could go back to the court where they got the legal guardianship if it was in the United States and get a special ruling that it's not in your best interest to return to one or both of your parents because of neglect or abuse or abandonment. And then you could do a special immigrant juvenile, but this all has to be done before 21 and you can get a green card. If the legal guardianship is just a piece of paper signed by the parents, then you would need to do that. It's not really a legal guardianship. Then you would need to go through that legal guardianship process. If the guardianship was done in another country, you would have to go through that guardianship process. But if you have a legal guardian and you have parents, biological parents who neglected, abandoned, or injured you, then you still have time to do the special immigrant juvenile.
All right, and last, we got Rolls Royce, YouTube.
Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
I like that car.
Yeah, I do too.
Right, he picked a good name, or she picked a good name.
I think it's a he. I think it's my boy, Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce.
All right.
It's better than Jalopy.
Yeah, it's better than a Ford Escort.
Or Yugo. What was the worst car made? The Yugo.
Listen, I've had some.
We got Hugo.
No. This is Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce. Okay.
All right. On YouTube, how long does NBC take to review and accept an RFE?
It's supposed to be 120 days, but because of COVID, who knows how long.
All right.
All right. So from January 3rd to January 5th, 2019, Lifetime Television broadcast Surviving R. Kelly, a docuseries that shined new light on the R&B star's decades-long history of alleged sexual abuse and violence against women and minors. It received critical acclaim as one of the network's highest-rated programs with 1.9 million viewers. Then, on February 22nd, 2019, Kelly was formally charged with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Yesterday, he was convicted of 9 counts of sex trafficking and racketeering. Shortly after the series premiere, I spoke with Sevonna M. the Assistant Executive Director of Black Women's Blueprint, an organization that works with survivors of sexual assault and rape, and had partnered with Lifetime in the Stop Violence Against Women campaign that accompanied the series. We spoke about R. Kelly, why Black women and girls are statistically more affected by sexual abuse, pedophilia, and domestic violence, and what we as a community, as a country, can do to stop this cycle. Let's watch. Black Women's Blueprint is an organization of women and men working to develop a culture in America where African American and immigrant women are fully empowered. They work closely with survivors of sexual assault and rape specifically. On January 3rd, 2019, Lifetime Television broadcast Surviving R. Kelly, a 6-part docuseries about the famed singer's 20-year history of alleged sexual abuse and violence against Black women, many of whom were minors. Black Women's Blueprint partnered with Lifetime Network's Emmy Award-winning Stop Violence Against Women public affairs campaign that accompanied the series. Here to discuss the organization's work is Assistant Executive Director Sevonna M. Sevonna, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
The reaction of Lifetime's docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, it was amazing. Did you think it was going to be as big a viewership as it got? So many people watched. I think it was Lifetime's biggest viewed series ever. I think 1.9 million people.
The audience and viewership for this was well beyond even what Lifetime expected. I had an opportunity to talk to the producers during that debut, and we were just floored. It was the highest, docuseries that they had been able to produce. Lots of Black women in particular have been knocking down on R. Kelly's door for decades, right? This is not a new conversation.
Why is it, in your opinion, that Black women have such a higher rate of sexual abuse before the age of 18 than other minorities in the United States?
I think there's a grand bit of historical trauma that Black women and Black communities are carrying with us. And so there's a connection, right, between forced breeding and the exploitation of Black women's bodies and their reproductive labor in the antebellum South and on the plantations of the United States. And this moment that we have now, where high-profile individuals like R. Kelly and even other Black men in Black communities believe that Black women's bodies are their property or belong to them. And so that happens for young women under the age of 18. There's often a growing up of Black girls that happens in Black communities that's very ritualized, and violence perpetuates that. It's definitely a major issue within Black communities, and it's something that we at Black Women's Blueprint are constantly working through.
Are you saying that Black women grow up saying that I'm scared to say anything if this happens? Or is it more a Black woman who says, I have to accept this?
It's really a question of folks are always trying to figure out who to blame. We see this issue happening in Black communities, and it's really a communal accountability. And we see this in the docuseries as well. It's not just Black men to blame or Black women to blame. Even in intraracial violence, it's how is the community accepting these models of behavior that perpetuate degrading Black girls and degrading Black women.
But are there examples that you can point out to where the system in the Black community perpetuates this, where in other communities it may not? What can be done, and where do you see in the system right now that things are happening that can be changed?
Well, I can provide 2 examples. One of them, I think, is if we use R. Kelly, for example, in the music industry and R&B and the production of Black culture, right? Black culture as its own item and token. The music itself really was an accessory to the crimes that he committed. A lot of the music that he produced was used to persuade and seduce and really to bring in and groom these young women into the sexual beings that he wanted them to be, right? Not that they were autonomously for themselves, but that he wanted for himself to benefit from. I think that perpetuation of, cultural production that harms and degrades Black women is a system in and of itself that has to be stopped. Let's talk about schooling, for example, the ways that Black girls are disproportionately discriminated against because of dress code, right? Black girls are sent home for the way that they're dressed or called hypersexual or because of the way that their hair is done. So this constant perpetuation of Black girls as seen as less than or at the bottom of the Black community's population, I think is one of the ways that we can start to see, okay, how can we intervene in these systems that constantly perpetuate this devaluing of Black girls and Black women?
Now, going back to R. Kelly, your organization have been holding rallies outside of his concerts for at least over a year now, protesting his alleged abuse and people, I guess, buying tickets and perpetuating, giving him the platform to continue to do this. How long has R. Kelly been on your radar, and how did he get on the radar for Black Women's Blueprint?
Well, for us as Black women and Black feminists, we have been thinking about, how to hold folks in the community accountable for the sexual violence of Black women and girls since the beginning of our organization. So we began in 2008 and we were incorporated in 2010. The organizers and the founders of this organization have been doing this work of protecting the rights of Black women and girls, long before that. Black women like Kenyette Barnes, who is in coalition with us, started the Mute R. Kelly movement and the Mute R. Kelly hashtag, and that was really the effort to shut the concerts down, to get Sony Music to stop playing him, to get Spotify to stop playing him, and iTunes, and we're still not there yet. So it's been an incredible journey just to see more people having a more robust and nuanced conversation.
I saw that his downloads went up like 20% over the weekend since Lifetime started airing this.
That's right.
Now, prior to this, okay, did you get a lot of blowback from people in your community, people in the music industry, saying, hey, why are you trying to take down this successful guy?
Of course. We constantly get calls to the office. We get emails, from within inside the community that thinks that, this is really blasphemous to speak out against someone within your own community and to air the community's dirty laundry. But for us to save a survivor's life and to share their narrative and put them on a platform so that they can hopefully help someone else is much more important. And also, if we don't speak out against it, it will continue to happen within community. There'll be no accountability. There'll be no intracommunal reconciliation. There'll be no reparations for us within our own communities. And we'll continue to be fighting these battles decades and decades down the line. And the reason we know that is because the way that historical trauma has carried with us, and generational trauma and intergenerational trauma. And so there's all this baggage, right, that needs to be dealt with. And so perpetuating silence and shame around that is not the solution. The statistic itself, right, around 60% of Black women and girls experience rape and sexual violence before the age of 18 is proven, right, by the docuseries. And it's incredibly important for us as a value to believe Black women and girls, but survivors rarely lie about their stories. And even in the instances where we've heard that a survivor has recanted a story, they have several other stories, or they've recanted for various reasons, to protect their own safety, to protect their own families and communities. It's a very risky thing to even share your story in a public platform. Many of the women in the docuseries spoke about how they didn't realize that there were plots against them, right? To be killed, to be murdered.
Who was plotting to kill them?
One of the survivors in the docuseries was talking about when the tapes came out, right? The sex scandal. Right. So she had possession of one of the tapes and she wasn't sure what to do with it. And she really didn't want to have it anymore, but she didn't want it to be picked up by the news and, for the rest of her life to be really like plastered on TMZ or wherever it might end up. In that she had possession of the tape, she learned that members of R. Kelly's entourage were trying to find ways to make her disappear, which is what we've seen with a lot of the young women. Their families are outside of the Chicago track studio trying to bring them home. So many of them, there's been this systematic grooming that would allow R. Kelly to just begin bit by bit, pulling them into his world and simultaneously pulling them apart from their own world and their own networks. And we know that that is a symptom of a domestic violence abuser and a sexual violence abuser. Separate the survivor as far away from their own family and community and networks and bring them into this fold in this world and where they can't actually decipher or recognize themselves anymore.
Is that where some of the news accounts say that R. Kelly was almost starting a cult in a way?
Yeah, his Chicago allegations have been under investigation for quite some time.
And when they did try to escape, it was met with threats of violence against them. Is that basically the allegation?
When many of them tried to escape or tried to leave, they would be locked away or punished, or food would be withheld from them, or they would be even further disconnected from their families. So we've seen, right, that this is, this violence has escalated.
How many different individual accounts are you aware of against R. Kelly?
There were so many accounts that Lifetime was not even able to interview all of the women that they wanted to interview in the timeline that they had for the docuseries. And one of the things I appreciated from Lifetime was that there were 54 interviews, right? All of those were not survivors, but those were all testimonies from R. Kelly's brothers, younger and older, some of his family members, his ex-wife, other women that had been involved with him, background dancers, former employees. And of course, we see popular names like John Legend and Wendy Williams and his piano teacher. So we see really a full spectrum of testimony. We're seeing an evolution that's shifting the burden from the survivors over to an accountability around, okay, what's really happening with R. Kelly? I think that's really, really important for folks to understand. It's not a blanket consent form that you sign when someone invites you out to dinner or to come sing in a studio or to meet up with them. And minors cannot consent to sexual engagement at all. The fact that in the documentary several times it was referenced that R. Kelly had sex with minors and that's what he's charged for. No, he's charged for child sexual abuse.
You can't give legal consent under 17. How are you able to separate to say, okay, the guy's a talented singer and musician, but he's a terrible human being?
I think that people want to separate the art from the allegation, but at this point, we know they're inextricably linked. As I said earlier, the art is really an accessory to the crimes that he committed. And for many of them, they're archives of the crimes that he's committed. If we really want to show that we are progressing and also that we believe and value Black women and girls, then it has to be turned off. It has to stop.
It's about accountability for R. Kelly, but it's also about the future of your community.
That's right.
What do you say about the other people in the music industry who, A, never came forward and said anything at all before this docuseries, or someone like Lady Gaga, who by all accounts is a very liberal, progressive person? She did a song with R. Kelly in 2013, Do What You Want With My Body, and she stood by him for 3 or 4 years, even while he stood on trial for child pornography a few years earlier. And now, only after this docuseries comes out, she comes out and apologizes. Now, all of a sudden, all these people, Lady Gaga being the most recognizable person, do you say, well, better late than never, or are you saying what a hypocrite, or something in the middle?
Of course, we hear the R. Kelly apologists coming forward and apologizing to us now, because this is not just embarrassing, but you become liable for being complicit in this violence and also for perpetuating it.
You legitimize him and devalue the other people by
right.
working with him, by giving him a platform and everything else.
Anyone who has sat back or been silent or even worked and closely or in proximity with him has really perpetuated this violence that we're seeing.
What was your organization or your role or your organization's role in this Lifetime production?
Well, Heart and Soul, we are an organization for survivors. And so we offer healing and counseling services. And one of the things that we offered right away was that our 24-hour hotlines and our counseling services be available to the survivors as they were telling these stories in the docuseries. And so us and A Long Walk Home, an organization that's based in Chicago, did some on-the-ground support of the survivors and really holding and wrapping our arms around them.
Do most survivors believe that they caused their own problem?
A major consequence of sexual violence is one feeling the burden upon themselves. And so, yes, definitely we see often that survivors are wondering, is this my fault? Did I cause this? What did I do to deserve this? And so to respond with respect and unconditional support for them in their own vulnerability, I think is really, really important.
Now, you talked about this kit that you offer, and the kit is advice on how to talk to somebody who is a survivor. So You're teaching people on how to help somebody who suffered through this trauma.
But there's a spectrum, a continuum of sexual violence. And I think that that's an important part of the toolkit, to have access to this toolkit that looks at, okay, what is sexual violence? What is rape? What is child sexual abuse? What are the differences between those things?
If I wanted to have a conversation in my family, God forbid somebody in my family was the victim of sexual abuse, how do I go and talk to them about it?
To take the survivor's lead is the way to go. Even if you are a survivor and you're listening, to really allow for that person who's disclosing to you to really have that moment and to have that sacred space to do so.
If I have a discussion with somebody and they say, I really don't want to call the police right now, would that be a bad thing that I did if I did call the police and say, no, you must call the police, and force them, or I call them on my own and have the police come?
So what we do is survivor-led advocacy. A survivor is able to advocate for themselves. I would definitely discourage from taking any actions that the survivor is up against, because there might be things that they haven't disclosed to you and reasons why they might want to take the course of action that they want to take.
Where can people find out more about your organization?
So you can find out more about our work on www.blackwomensblueprint.org. You'll find the toolkit there. You can also find us on Twitter at Black Women's BP, on Instagram at Black Women's Blueprint. We also have a blog, a platform where we release a lot of our cultural analysis, mamablack.org. So please visit us at mamablack.org. That's where you'll find our calendar, upcoming events. And then bwbtraining.org is where you'll find the Institute for Gender and Cultural Competency.
And if I myself have a traumatic experience and want to talk to somebody confidentially, what telephone number should I call right now?
If you want to speak to anyone member of our hotline, call 646-647-5414 or 5415. You can call either to reach Black Women's Blueprint's Healing and Counseling Services.
Tell us what you would like to see, your dreams for America in the next year, 5 years, and 10 years.
I want to see a world that's free of violence against Black women and girls, which is a huge, huge project and mission, but that's something that I want to see us to be able to move freely, autonomously through this nation, and our definition of our own autonomy and freedom and liberation to shift.
Sevonna Brown, Assistant Executive Director for Black Women's Blueprint. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, 9 immigration questions, 50 seconds.
Let's do this.
Do it. Are you ready, Vanessa? I hear her somewhere in the ether.
Yes, yes.
Let's go.
Can I study in the U.S. on an F1 while I wait for my I-130 approval?
Yes.
Can I out of status immigrant marry a green card holder?
Of course.
What will happen if I come to the U.S. for a seasonal job and don't leave?
You'll be undocumented.
Can I apply for TPS if I entered the U.S. on a student visa?
If you qualify, of course.
Do I have to prove I meet the minimum required income to sponsor a K-1?
Yes, 125% above the poverty level. If not, you'll get a second affidavit of support.
Can a restaurant owner and a green card holder sponsor an employee?
A restaurant owner who has a green card can do a job sponsorship.
Can a green card holder sponsor their parents?
No, has to be a citizen.
How long will it take for my spouse's visa if I have a green card?
About 2 to 3 years if they're in another country.
Can a naturalized asylee with a U.S. passport travel to their home country?
Yes.
Ooh, with detail.
With details now.
Wow.
We're not just yes and no. We're giving details. 9 immigration questions in 50 seconds. That deserves a Cabbage Patch dance.
We love Brad's Cabbage Patch. We love Brad's Cabbage Patch.
All right, comments of the day. Comments of the day. You like it? That's the first time I danced in my show.
For a while.
For a while.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Woo! Our first comment of the day comes from Joan Ambitious Powell saying, I think the 10-year green card issue is a good topic to do for our Braducation because it's a big issue for many people.
All right. Maybe we'll do it.
Okay.
All right.
Noted.
Noted.
Robert Jackson saying, having a beer, does that count as tea?
Absolutely.
Yes, maybe we will, yes.
What? Maybe we'll what?
Maybe we'll ask the butler to bring us a beer next time.
You know I'm here for it.
Right? That'd be cool.
I'm here for it.
Right.
In the
Beer
name of
Tuesday.
In the name of Robert Jackson.
Yes. We'll go cheers, Robert.
All right. Third comment of the day comes from Winifred Chisholm Jeffrey saying, return the ring and buy me some assets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She don't want the ring. She
All
wants, right, okay.
You know what's great is, we had
both,
we
right.
had some people saying, give me the ring. Some people saying, give me the
home.
asset, give me the land. So,
but the ring is an asset.
Yes, some people were saying, give me the land, though.
Right.
Luis Rivera saying, come on, immigration reform. Let's do this.
Yeah. By the way, has anybody in the squad said, why can't I have both? I want the land and the ring. Vanessa.
Look.
Is any, someone did say it, Jill said.
I'm sure they did.
They'll take both. They'll take both the ring and the land. Okay.
All right, last one comes from Paulette Bryce Cameron saying, Brad, can you help with your immigration problems in all U.S. 50 states? Brad can help you with your immigration problems in all U.S. 50 states. He's the best immigration lawyer of all time, helping immigrants to live the American dream. Big up, Brad and team.
Oh, very nice. Thank you. That was really sweet of you. I appreciate it. All right. God willing, and I'm sure God will be willing, we'll be back tomorrow for a hump day. See you all then. Have a great night. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAWLINK. 1-800-529-5465.